Hey everybody. Okay, so today we're working with, as promised, we start working on the textures, and I will show you how to transfer texture in XYZ maps to your own base mesh. Let me first show you what we have in the folder structure of VFace from texture in XYZ. So here's the folder that I copied. It has 3 separate folders inside: one head, reference, next extra. So inside reference there are several photographs of how they made the scan, and also for color calibration. If you want your textures to be super calibrated, you can use these references. They also have some HDRIs with the same lighting as in the studio that they scanned. They have some photos of the subject with different angles and different lightings. But the main folder that we want to use is the first one, head, which has 2 separate folders inside: geos and maps. So geos is the base mesh that Texture XYZ VFace uses for their own products. It has its own topology, UV, but the UV is unique. It doesn't share the same UV and topology as the base mesh that we use. We use MetaHuman's base mesh, which is different compared to the base mesh from VFace. And this is the scan that we're going to use. And these are the maps. There's one map, and all the 4 maps are in 32 bits. That's why the format is in EXR. This is the albedo that's going to be used for the color texture. This one is the displacement, but there are 2 different types of displacement maps. First one with the base color for this displacement is black, and there's a multi-channel which is a gray map. It's really hard to see what's going on, but if you zoom in, you can see the fine skin details that are stored in 3 different channels: red, green, and blue. We also have this utility map, which we are not going to use, but it's useful for specific cases. There are also some masks that are useful if you want to make color adjustments to a specific area of the face, for example red, blue, green. You can also use that, but before we can use these maps, we need to find a way to transfer the data from the VFace base mesh to the MetaHuman base mesh. And the way we do that is through ZWrap plugin for ZBrush, and also the Wrap a standalone software. They're both from the same company, but one is a plugin, another one is a standalone software. Hey Aqib, hey, Ignacio Rodriguez. Hey Yusuf. Salam. Thank you, Ali. Alright, so I've already imported the base mesh for our model, and this is the version that was symmetrized. So this is the symmetrical version that I showed you how to bring back symmetry to your model in Maya. So we have this, and we also need to import the base mesh for VFace that I just showed you. So let me append a new subtool and then import the base mesh. There are two different versions, one with closed eyes, another one with open eyes, because the model that we used for own likeness has open eyes, so we're also going to use the version with open eyes for VFace as well. But if I zoom out, you can see that the coordinates are not the same. We have to reposition the second model so it's about the same size, and but this model is not symmetrical. It doesn't need to be symmetrical, but if both base meshes are symmetrical, it can speed up your process. So we can use the same process that we symmetrize the base mesh for our own model to also make the base mesh for VFace symmetrical as well. So I'm exporting this base mesh from ZBrush to Maya and importing it here. To make this symmetrical, we have to go to face mode, select all, and then edit mesh on the top bar menu, symmetrize. It's asking for us to select the edge loop at the center. And I think you can tell reading the geometry that this one is the middle edge loop. So I'm clicking on that, and now the model is symmetrical, but it's overlapping because some of the edge loops are too close together, which is fine. We can fix that inside ZBrush, but let's also make sure that the model doesn't have any offset. So I'm using the move tool and the pivot, clicking on reset to reset pivot point, modify, bake pivot, going to attribute editor. In the translate, you can see that the X coordinate has a slightly offset. So we have to make it 0 to bring it to the center. Now the model is completely symmetrical. Now we have to export to ZBrush. Again, import. Now both versions are completely symmetrical, but we need to fix this. Some of the edge loops are overlapping, so we need to fix that. Hey Pixel Oracle, hey, thank you. Energy for you, thank you. So I'm just using the smooth brush to fix this issue. Today we're just transferring the textures from VFace to MetaHuman, and then tomorrow we're importing and cleaning those textures inside Marie. And the displacement in ZBrush, so we can move on to the next stage, which is making shaders, lighting, and finally rendering. Also turn on use posable symmetry, so even though the model is symmetrical, but to make sure that we're not making any mistakes, also turn on posable symmetry. Thank you, Dante. Did you say you need energy for me? No, somebody commented energy for you, so I thanked them. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, just spacing out. The polygons. All right, we have two base meshes, and we need to use the Zira plugin to transfer the textures. Hey, Augusto. Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can ask. All right, so if you don't have the Zira plugin, you need to install it. You can go to the website. If you Google Zirap, you can easily find it. And if you don't want to buy, you can just use the demo version for the trial period. I don't know how many days it is, but you can do that. But the menu is in Z plugin Zirap. So if you don't have the plugin, you can just install later and follow the steps. But oops. Okay. Now we have the the Zira plugin, you can see that we have both base meshes on display. Will you apply all this to MetaHuman? Today, no. We still have to clean the textures in Marie and then export from ZBrush. There are several steps that we need to take before we can use these textures for our MetaHuman model. Alright, so what we need to do here is just pick some points on the model, on the both base meshes. So for example, if I click on here, the corner of the eye, it picks a point, number 0, and then I click on the same spot at the second base mesh to have the same number. So the numbers have to be at the same spot on both models. If you haven't worked with this plugin before, it might look a little bit vague and maybe hard to follow, but by the end of this session I think you understand what I mean. Also, because we have both models symmetrical, let's enable symmetry, X symmetry on both so we can finish it quicker. Okay, I'm just picking some points. 0, 0. For this side of the eye, another one. And you can see that it automatically, because we have symmetry on, it adds points on the opposite side as well. For each eyelid, I'm adding 2 more points. Sometimes the symmetry doesn't work perfectly, so make sure that every few points that you add, you zoom out to make sure that everything is working as it should. This is Paco de Lucia. How long does portrait modeling take? 3 weeks or 4 weeks, depends. I'm adding more points here. Are you gonna render it in Unreal? No, in Maya, using Arnold. Adding some points to the nose. Can you work with a non-symmetrical one? Yes, you can, but you have to pick points on each side separately. Here our models are symmetrical, so we have the symmetry on, so we only add points on one side. But if the model is not symmetrical, you have to manually pick points on both sides. More points on the lips. VFace is VFace is a package from Texture and XYZ. Here you can see that when I go close to the edge of the lip, the symmetry kind of glitches out. That's why I'm telling you that you should make sure after you're adding each point, make sure you zoom out to confirm that all the points are added. Do you use morph target to save previously parts of the head? No, that's not necessary. You can record in layers if you want to save your progress. You can use layers. You can also save your history inside ZBrush. I don't think saving morph target is the best way to do it. Does the UV and the texture breaks after make the VFace? No, making the topology, making changes to the mesh and the model doesn't change this the UV. Adding more points on the forehead. Because the forehead doesn't have that much detail, so just spacing out the points. So because we don't need too many dots or numbers on the forehead. But the areas that are more detailed, like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, ears especially, it's important to make sure that you add enough points so that the final texture is as clean as it can be. I mean, we still need to clean it afterwards, but if you spend more time in this step, you're going to have an easier time cleaning the texture. I was looking for speeding the video. Yeah, it's alive. If it's too slow, you can watch later and then speed it up, but I mean, if you watch live, you can ask questions on the spot. But if you don't have time right now, it's not a good time for you, you can just skip it for now, and it will be available on my YouTube channel. You can watch it whenever you want. Adding some points to the back of the head. Just a few points will do. We don't need as many because most of this area will be covered under hair, so it doesn't really matter if it's clean or not. Alright, I think we have covered most of it, but maybe some more on the chin.
Fuck.
Have you ever met Ian Spriggs in person or even had any collaborations on a project? No, I haven't. And we haven't had any collaborations either, no. But it's great. Yeah, I would love to meet him and maybe even work with him. I mean, I haven't been in touch with anybody in the industry, the community for the past couple of years because of I've been too busy with my own personal life. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having more collaborations with different artists. Okay, let's turn off symmetry because I want to add some points right in the middle. One for the chin.
Fuck.
Okay, I think we have enough points. Or maybe let's add some more inside the eyelids, because that usually causes me problems. Also some points inside the eye socket. I mean, there are no textures in there, it's just to make sure that the geometry completely wraps around our model. Alright, I think we have enough points. Let's also add one right in the middle here. Okay. Now, before I go any further, I want to export my maps. So if you click on modify, you can import or export maps because we don't lose progress after. If anything goes wrong, we want to come back and change the position of our points. The only way to do that is if you export your points. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to export my map. This one is blue. And it's just a text file. It's nothing crazy. Exporting this one, calling this one white. Okay, now we have everything saved. Now I'm gonna go on wrapping. So there are three different sections: select points, select splines, and wrapping. Select points is what we just did. You can also select splines instead of points, which is one way to do it. And then wrapping is just the final step to finish everything. There are two different ways or processes: fast wrapping and cartoon wrapping. Fast wrapping is, as it's called, it's faster, but it's not as accurate. Cartoon wrapping is a little bit more accurate, but a bit slower. So you can see that as you click on cartoon wrapping, it immediately starts wrapping the second base mesh on top of the first one. And now it says the wrapping process is finished. And then click on done. And here is our model, which everything looks good, but there are some problems. As I told you, that the eye socket usually causes problems. So this is why we need to go back and fix this. And that's exactly why I told you to save the points, because if we hadn't saved our points, now we would need to just do everything from scratch, all the points. But now, because we have a save, we can just go back and make some changes. All this time using ZWrap, and it never occurred to me to export the points. Yeah, it makes things a lot easier. Alright, let's just bring up ZWrap once again. Just changes the view every time. It would have been great if you had some dedicated videos on YouTube for reviewing portfolios like JL and Gerard and maybe interviews with other artists. Yeah, I would love to do that at home, but I don't know if there is enough demand. I would love to, but I'm not sure because people who follow my YouTube channel, they're usually looking forward to seeing tutorials and time lapses, so I'm not sure how they would react or support if I post interviews and portfolio reviews, but maybe. Alright, let's go to modify. So I brought back the original model. The model wasn't usable, so we need to import our points once more. Blue, white. Now we just need to add some more points inside the eye sockets to make sure it doesn't pop out like it did. Not sure what's going on here. I think one of the points is, oh yeah, there's, you can see here 145 is here, but 145 here is down here, which I'm not sure what happened. It's probably a glitch. Okay, let's delete that. If you hold on Control and click, it deletes the point. Let's also delete 145 here as well. Turn on symmetry, adding a new point. Also, we have 143 here, but here I can't see 143. This is like a much more detailed version of what Character Creator does. Cool to see. Yeah, Character Creator is not really a tool for professionals. It's mainly used for hobbyists, or maybe even for storyboarding, I don't know, some less serious pipelines. Okay, there's something going on here that needs to be fixed. 143. I need to find 143 here. Oh, 143 is not sure how that makes sense. 143 is here, which, let's turn off symmetry, relocate. Or let's just delete 143 so we can add a new one. I think that would be easier. There's also 151 which is missing here. Sorry, 151 is, I don't know how it decided to add that one over there. Now 147 is the next one. Okay, found it. This is what I meant when I said make sure you to check everything is added correctly. Alright, I think this time it's going to look okay. Alright, let's once more export our maps. White, export blue. Let's go to wrapping, cartoon wrapping. What is this point for? It's for ZWrap in ZBrush, for transferring the textures from one model to the other. Why you look at me like that? Alright, let's see. Okay, I think there are still some issues with the eyes, but oh, there's something also going on with the ear. Okay, let's check the ear. Maybe we can fix the eye as well. Let's go back and let's bring up ZWrap once more. Import blue, import white. Okay, what was going on with the ear? Oh, one point is missing. 87. Where is 87? 87 is here for some reason. Let's delete it. Add a new one. Let's also see if we can fix the eyes. Let me add some points inside to make sure it doesn't pop out. I don't know why the eye socket for the VFace base mesh is so huge. It's so hard to access to add points. I just added some points. I don't know how it will look. Okay, let's export once more. Hopefully for the last time. Blue, white, wrapping, cartoon wrapping. Did you think when it comes to smooth in ZBrush, it should be set to low intensity in order to not destroy the forms? Yes, but we are not modeling right now. We are just transferring texture. It doesn't really matter if you destroy the forms right now. It's just making sure that the base mesh is completely wrapped around. Okay, I think we fixed most of it. The ear is fixed. The eyes are not perfect, but it's looking a lot better. So I think the rest of it can be fixed just with a smooth brush. The topology for the VFace base mesh is really bad. It doesn't have even distribution of polygons. The edge loops are not really that great. I don't know why they decided to use this base mesh. It's really hard to work with. Instead of sculpting in MetaHuman base mesh and transferring to VFace, you could have directly started sculpting. Yes, but because I was just saying that the VFace base mesh is not really great. I don't like the topology. It's not easy to work with. It's not easy to rig. It's not easy to animate. And I mean, just look at it. There are so many distorted areas around the eyes. And compare this to the MetaHuman base mesh. The MetaHuman base mesh is so even. It's so even if, just by looking at it, you can understand that it's so much more appealing compared to this one. This is the VFace base mesh. Just look at the eyes. It's not really competition. I mean, the MetaHuman base mesh is miles better compared to the VFace. Maybe mask the eye socket and use the precision tool in ZBrush. But yeah, but it's already over. We can just move on. But the eye sockets were really hard to access, so it wasn't easy to mask them out. And also one of the other benefits of using the MetaHuman base mesh is that MetaHuman already has pre-rigged models that you can just transfer the rig from to your own model. And you can also easily convert it to a real MetaHuman. So if you want to import a model to Unreal, that's also another benefit. And there are so many clients that I have that they ask specifically for the model to be sculpted on top of the MetaHuman base mesh. Nobody wants a base mesh from Texture XYZ. It's completely useless. So it might take, a few days, a couple of days extra to transfer all the textures to the new model, but it's 100% worth it. So I smoothed some of the areas, or over smoothed, and it changed the primary forms. And to compensate for that, I'm projecting those areas on top of my own model. Invert mask, smoothing some more. Alright, now we just need to project. Setting the distance for project to 0.1 and project all. Now everything looking good. And now we are ready to move on to the next stage and just transfer the textures in wrap. Alright, let's export the VFace model. Yeah, let's export. To Paco. VFace. Save. So I just exported as OBJ. The other model is already exported, so we don't need that. Alright, let me You're right, the VFace topology kind of looks messy. Yeah, it does. Just joined the live. What are you doing right now? Transferring the textures from VFace to MetaHuman. Let's delete this, but I don't need this. Let's go to wrap. So this is wrap if you don't have it. It's a standalone software that you can use to transfer textures from one mesh to the other. It's usually used for baking from high poly model to the low poly model. We can also use it to transfer texture between different base meshes, just like what we're doing right now. Alright, I've made a new folder, wrap, and I have two OBJs, one for VFace, one for MetaHuman. Now we just need to import them inside the wrap. So wrap is a node-based software. For importing a model inside, you need to click on tab, go to geometry, and there is in load, not geometry. Load geo. You're working park with Lucia, yes. Easy for you to say no one can compete with you. What was I saying? Thank you, Ashpunk, but I'm not sure. Hey Rusbe, have you tried Mesh to MetaHuman? No, that's a different thing. But our file name, I'm just copying the path to my model. First one is vface.obj. So this is the model for VFace. I'm going to rename this node to VFace so we can find it easier. Another G node to, or we can just duplicate. I think we can duplicate. Control C, Control V. Yeah, we can just Control C, Control V. This time MetaHuman. Okay, we have both. Renaming it to MetaHuman. Now we need to import the textures as well. Now another load, this time load image. So the image is located inside the VFace. Let me also bring this here. VFace head. Just rename it to 30 head maps and all video. I'm just copying the path. Maps and copying the name. So the order should be in reverse. The texture comes first. Rename all video, and then I connect it to VFace because it's for the VFace base mesh, so it has to be connected to the VFace model. Now we need a new node. This time it's called transfer texture. For the transfer texture, there are 3 inputs. One for the first base mesh, second one for the second base mesh, and the third input is not really important. The resolution, we want 8K 8192. We're not going to change anything else. Now we need another node for saving the texture, which is called save image. Now I'm just connecting transfer texture to save image, giving it the path. Let's just save it in the same folder, naming it albedo.tif. You can just change to any different format you want, but for the albedo use TIF. Mesh to MetaHuman is not accurate. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's not production ready. Alright, so after we have saved image, we can just click on compute current frame. And it might take a few seconds or minutes based on your computer specifications. And this is the map that it has exported. You can see that it works with the same UV for our MetaHuman. There are some areas that needs to be cleaned, around the eyes, around the lip, but it's mostly clean. You can see that there aren't any major issues with this texture. We just need to clean some of these areas. Okay, we have that one. We need another node for this time for the displacement or the multi-channel. Renaming it to multi-channel, connecting it to VFace, but we also need to change the file name to the multi-channel. So this is the multi-channel map. It's not easy to see the detail, but doesn't matter, we just need to transfer. In save image this time, I'm renaming it to, again, multi-channel, and the format, instead of TIF, I'm using EXR because it's a 32-bit map. For 32-bit maps, you need to use EXR, not TIF. Alright, let's compute current frame. Took a few seconds. And this is what we have. Just like the albedo map, there are some areas around the eyes that needs to be cleaned before we can import it to ZBrush, but it's mostly clean. And that's how you transfer textures from one mesh to the other. And that's the whole process. Nothing else. I just wanted to show you how I do it. If you want to work on the VFace space mesh without even bothering with the MetaHuman, that's totally fine. You can just skip this part, but I think it's worth it for for the reasons that I mentioned. And most clients don't really want to have the VFace base mesh for you to deliver. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you learned something and you enjoyed. And tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, the day after, we import these maps into Marie, and then we can clean the maps. After that, we can import into Maya and ZBrush, and then just move on to the shaders and rendering and everything else. So yeah, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you Rana, thank you. You're not going live tomorrow, probably not tomorrow. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I'm not sure, but tomorrow or the day after. Thank you Arib. What does texture in XYZ do when texture in ABC works? Yes. Nice. Hi, I'm following your guide on XGen hair, but I have a question. How can I transfer my hair to another scene in Maya? Can you ask your question in my Discord server? That will be easier to understand. Also send me some screenshots and everything. Thank you, Artorius. Thank you, Quentin, Ignacio. You don't mess with limit distance to try and improve the transfer in texture. Transfer limit? No, I don't. Because we don't have any major issues with the textures right now. We spend enough time adding more points to make sure that everything works smoothly. I mean, there are some specific areas. I knew there will be some cleaning to do around the eyes, but that's nothing really to worry about. Yeah guys, thank you Farhan, thank you everybody, see you in the next one, bye.